here. Welcome to Snowboard Pro Camp live chat. We'll be on here for the next hour or so to talk to you guys, answer any of you guys' questions, just hang out. Quick shout out to some of the people already in the chat. We got L Stacker, Chuck Van. I know those guys are down in Boise, Idaho right now. Chuck's visiting from Australia, so stoked that those guys are meeting up and getting to ride. We got Bad Riders in the chat from Australia as well. Chuck saying smash the like button. Awesome, thanks Chuck. How was your guys' day of snowboarding today? How was the conditions up at Bogus Basin? I saw some photos, looked like a really fun time. We got Swanee Brews in the chat. What's up, man? Swanee Brews, where are you from? Are you from Australia too? We got Ian Sanborn. We got the Rider on here. Yo, what's up, everybody? We got Henry. What's up, Henry? Thanks for hopping on. Majestic Skies. Awesome, sweet guys. Yeah, hit me up if you guys have any questions. So basically the last like 6 weeks has been pretty wild. Chasing powder all across the Northwest, and then even up into Alaska. So got to do like some good riding in Alaska up at Alyeska Resort, and also have a couple big videos dropping for you guys soon. So really stoked about that. So yeah, first time to Alaska. It was a pretty wild time, and yeah, we we managed to find some good powder up there. We got Majestic watching from Quebec. Ian says, went to Hilltop in Anchorage. Awesome, Ian. So are you from Anchorage? Is that were you born there? Are you a local? What is Hilltop? I've heard it a little bit about Hilltop, but not too much. How does Hilltop kind of rank compared to Alyeska? And yeah, what's the resort all about? We got Dylan watching from Colorado. Awesome, man. Oh, Swanee Brews is Chuck's flatmate. Awesome, over in Newcastle. Sweet, man. Did we meet over in Japan that time? L Stacker representing Boise, Idaho. Yeah, I need to get back down to Bogus Basin. It looks like they have like a sweet park set up, and man, Boise is such a cool city too. We got Dhananjay watching from India. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in all the way from India. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, definitely hit me up. Let me know where you guys are watching from too. Oh, it was also part of the Japan crew. Nice, man. Well, I hope you've like kept up with the riding down in Oz as much as you can, and hopefully get to see you back in Japan. Harjot saying we need you in Tahoe. Yeah, I'd be stoked to get back to the Lake Tahoe area. So many great resorts around there. Sugar Bowl, hit up Homewood for a day, Heavenly, North Star, and like there's like 5 or 6 more that I still need to check out. Bad Rider saying watching from Melbourne, Australia. Kev, borders are open. When are you putting Aussie on the list of your world tour? Are the borders open? Like, I know that maybe they're open, but do I have to quarantine for 2 weeks when I arrive? Let me know. It's like, from what I read into it, it's like there's the 2-week quarantine period still up. So I want to come to Australia, but I don't know if I'm willing to quarantine for 2 weeks in an Australian government hotel. But yeah, let me know, Adam. What's the rules? Henry's saying, where are you planning on going next? So my next spot is actually, I'm going to Banff, Alberta, Canada. And I've never been to Banff before. I have a group of friends from Ontario where I grew up. And every year they do like a friend's snowboard trip. So I'm heading there to, I'll probably make some videos, but the trip is mainly to hang out with some friends that I grew up with that I haven't seen in a while. And yeah, I'm stoked to check out Banff. Banff looks like, they have some of the best views, biggest mountain peaks. And I have the Icon Pass, and I think the Icon, I can ride like 3 resorts around Banff. So stoked to check it out. I think I might actually drive out to Banff. It's like 11 and a half hours. Haven't checked the snow conditions, so I'm not sure what that's going to be like, but I'm just going to be stoked to be out there. Hopefully we get some sunny days to like see the views. It'd be great if the snow conditions were good for my friends coming out from Ontario, but we'll see how the whole trip goes. Just like stoked to check it out for the first time and ride with my buddies. But yeah, that's the next trip, and then after that, just getting into spring riding. So we'll see what happens after that. All right, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna try to keep up with the questions as best I can. But if I miss your question, definitely hit me up again. But don't ask it like too many times. Don't like spam the comments, or the moderators might put you on hold. But yeah, definitely hit me up with questions if I miss it. Oh, Adam Bad Rider says, nope, no quarantine if you're vaxxed. Let's get this show on the road. Nice, Adam. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I guess we're going back to Australia then. Maybe, what's the best time to go? August, September, somewhere around there. Mike saying, what's more difficult, Baker, Alaska, or Jackson Hole? That's a really good question. So I would say that the most difficult of those resorts is Jackson Hole. Just because from what I remember, Jackson Hole is like very steep. Like everything about Jackson was steep, which is good, but also makes it more difficult. Baker definitely has a good mix of terrain. Actually, there are some, the beginner slopes, some blue areas, also some, difficult slopes, and then going into the expert level of terrain. I would say between all those resorts, Baker is the most has the most like hidden obstacles or dangers. There's lots of cliffs and like places to get stuck, and of all the places, Baker is the one where you want to know where you're going the most and take the least amount of like chances and risk. But it does have like a variety of terrain. Where I found that Jackson Hole was just like difficult everywhere. And then Alaska is definitely, so they have the longest double black diamond in North America, and so that was a difficult run. And the whole north face at Alyeska was a pretty difficult run, but it's kind of like difficult for a little bit, and then it mellows out into some like more mellow powder riding. So Alyeska was a good mix of all difficulties. We did do a heli day in Alaska, so that video is coming up. And but we didn't do it wasn't like insane like Travis Rice, Jeremy Jones, crazy spines coming down spines and all those kinds of things off of mountain peaks. But it was like a pretty fun adventure with some really cool terrain. So, but yeah, I'd say Jackson Hole is the most difficult of all those. If like I had, they probably do have a beginner area at Jackson, but I just remember everywhere that we rode was like steep and tough terrain. Majestic Sky says, have you seen the Northern Lights yet up in Alaska? We didn't see them, even though there was one night where it was like a clear night, and apparently you could see like the house that we rented was kind of up on the hill behind Anchorage. And apparently like where we were was like a 10-minute drive from one of the best places to like see the Northern Lights. And we just we missed out. We didn't do it. I don't know if we would have seen them, but there was one night where we definitely should have drove up the mountain to take a look. But I think we'll be back at some point to check out Alaska again. Ian says, just moved here 2 years ago. Hilltop is not much compared to Alyeska, but for sure, nice hill for intermediate riders. Awesome. Arctic Valley is probably second to Alyeska. Cool. So a few more places I'll have to check out next time I'm back in Anchorage. So the cool thing about Alaska that I didn't quite realize is that I don't know what it is from the Vancouver airport, but from Seattle, it's a 4-hour flight, and it was like $200 each way. So like a fairly affordable flight from Seattle. Frankie wants to know, is Canada border open for visitors from Hong Kong to come over to snowboard? I think the rules just changed like yesterday or today. So maybe check out the updated travel rules and stuff for foreigners into Canada. I think they've like recently like just updated it. So I think you can travel here. You might just have to have like get like a rapid test. Chuck Van saying, Bogus Basin is a hidden gem. Super impressed with the mountain, bigger than I thought, and the park is well built and has a great progression. Awesome, yeah, I thought the same thing. Yeah, Bogus Basin, really cool place. Love riding the park there. When I was riding, it was still early season, like it was back in like, I think late November, so they didn't have much snow yet. But I'm sure, Chuck, that now that they've got everything open, you're exploring all kinds of terrain. So we'll have to get back there sometime soon. Frankie says, is it too late to buy an Epic Pass now? I think it is. Yeah, I think they stopped selling the Epic Passes back in like November. Swanee Brews, smash the like button. Awesome, man. Yeah, we got 58 people, 18 likes. I'm sure we can even that out. AK Big Jake says, what do you think of Blue and Gold in Anchorage? Yeah, the Blue and Gold snowboard shop. Yeah, that was like a really cool place. I bought a new jacket and pants there. I got some radios. So I did pick up a set of 3 radios for doing like backcountry stuff. You know, it's so funny. Like we've been trying to ride the backcountry and film, and you know, we've got all the safety gear, but whenever we've been trying to communicate, we've just been like yelling at each other from across like ridges. And so we finally just went and picked up some radios from Blue and Gold up in Anchorage there. But really cool shop. I met this really cool young snowboarder there, Noah. Shout out to Noah from Anchorage. Yes, as soon as I went in, he was there. I think he was like looking for shoes or something. And yeah, super friendly staff. Yeah, we'll definitely go back and visit Blue and Gold in Anchorage every time I visit. And if you guys ever head up to Anchorage, check out the Blue and Gold snowboard shop. It's a really cool place. Oliver, what's the worst conditions you've snowboarded in, and where was it? Man, that's a tough one. I mean, there's so many different conditions that can make snowboarding difficult. So the last run that we did at Mount Baker recently, the clouds rolled in, and it was like so difficult to like see where we were going. And what made it really tough is that there was like tons of fresh snow. So we had like amazing snow, all fresh. We were riding a route that we had never done before. So I was a little bit like hesitant on the like direction that we were taking. And if we had light and we had good visibility, we would have been able to get through like no problem and figure out our way through. But just these like thick clouds rolled in, and we ended up like me and Yannick, we just slowly made our way through this like really thick cloud and deep powder snow. So we didn't actually get to like enjoy it. We were just trying to like see through the thick clouds. So that was pretty difficult, and it was scary too, because we didn't really know, we couldn't see where we were going. There was some cliff hazards around. We did manage to get out fine, but that makes snowboarding really hard when you can't, obviously when you can't see. Another time that was really strange conditions was a video that I posted a few weeks ago. We were in northern Idaho at Mount Schweitzer, and it had snowed like maybe 6 inches a couple nights before, and then there was like a light rain, so all the like snow, there's like a crust that got created on top of the powder. And as we were riding, we were basically just riding on top of this like ice crust that was covering everything. So that was pretty tough. It would have been the worst day, but what happened was we went to the sunny part of the slope, and the sun actually melted that top layer of ice, and we were able to like sink through to the soft snow below. So it worked out, but Yeah, it's funny how different things can affect the quality of the snow and the riding. Alstacker wants to know, will Kevin go to the ice coast? Yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot recently that maybe next winter, like maybe January, spending December or January over in the ice coast, do like a whole East Coast tour, maybe through like Ontario, Vermont, New York State, maybe into like New Jersey and maybe even North Carolina. So that would be really cool to do an East Coast tour. Even maybe hit up the Midwest a bit, get into Minnesota and some of those places. I know they have some epic tow rope snowboarding. It's tow rope park, so it would be amazing to check out some of those spots. Kevin, have you tried the Apex Orca? What do you think of it? I haven't tried the Apex Orca. The last Orca I tried was the Golden Orca, which is more of like a twin Orca. And that was fun. I can see it being really good for like freestyle and powder. Not like the best like pure powder board. I do love the original Orca too, but haven't had the chance to try the Apex yet. What stands out about, what makes the Apex Orca different from the original? Noah's saying, I haven't done Christmas shoot yet, but how were the conditions? So yeah, Christmas shoot, if you guys don't know, it's on the north face in Alyeska. And that's one of the shoots that are like the longest in North America. The conditions that I did it in were like pretty decent. There was like a good mix of kind of some chunky snow with some fresh snow in there too. So it was like a good mix. It was definitely a challenge. I did do it once, like all the way through without stopping, and that was like a huge leg burner. Like one of the most difficult runs I've ever done, and just trying to do it all in one because every single turn is like a jump turn. So, but yeah, if you get up there early enough and and the patrol opens it and it's like safe to ride, it's a super fun and challenging run. Riders saying the Apex Orca is carbon, lighter and tighter side cut. The Apex Orca is on my list to acquire this season. Awesome, man. Cool. Yeah, I'm down with that. Yeah, carbon. Does the carbon also make it stiffer? Like, what's the stiffness rating on it? But yeah, I'm always for lighter snowboards for sure. Somebody asking, do you like snowboarding in warm weather around 40 degrees? Definitely. Yeah, I love spring riding. It's funny. It's like there is a sweet spot where it's like warm out and you can kind of just wear a sweatshirt or something light as you're snowboarding. But then there's this other area too where it gets too warm and then snowboarding becomes like so taxing when you're like, it's like hot, you're snowboarding, the slushy snow is like making it difficult on your legs. And at the end of the day, you're just like drenched in like in slush and sweat. So it can't get too warm, but I do enjoy like spring riding for sure. Awesome. Loda Trace. Awesome. Thanks for the nice words. Yeah, stoked. Sweet. Yeah, I hope you're getting out snowboarding a lot. Aaron says going to Whistler next week. Any tips? Aaron, yeah, definitely. Maybe like look at the weather the night before. Check out the temperature. Like one thing with Whistler is that the temperature is very different from top to bottom. So check out the temperature where it's going to be at the top, because sometimes it can be like warm and rainy in the village, and then up on the top of the mountain it's like cold and snowy. So yeah, check out the temperatures, like dress appropriately, and yeah, just like check out some of the areas that are suited for your riding style. I feel like Whistler is a bit more of a mellow mountain, so if you want more like green, easy greens and blue terrain, that's Whistler. And if you want some more difficult terrain, you can definitely find that up on Whistler Mountain too, like Harmony Chair, Peak Chair. Symphony is a bit more mellow, some more mellow terrain. It is hard to get over there with like the cat tracks and everything. But if you want some more like steeper blue runs and maybe some park, check out Black Elm Mountain. John says, you're about to drop into the Olympic half pipe. What song are you listening to? Oh, man. Oh, man. What song am I listening to? I'm about to drop into the Olympic half pipe. Maybe some maybe like, I don't know, this just popped into my head, but maybe like Zero by Smashing Pumpkins. Just like something that's got a bit of an edge to it. Eason saying, any plans on testing the Karua boards? Maybe not this season, just because the powder may be like coming to an end. But yeah, I would be stoked to try out some Karua snowboards in PAL. That'd be super fun. Maybe over in Japan next winter. Jamie wants to know, do you like Smith optic goggles, or what goggles do you use? So I think the Smiths are nice for sure. I rode them a few years ago, but the last few seasons I've been riding Anon M4s, and to me those are my favorite goggles, just because like they're big enough that the field of view is massive, and they also have like the Magnetech, so you can quickly pop out one lens and put in a different one. So those things just make the Anon M4s like my go-to goggles. But yeah, check them out. I think recently I did a video comparing like the three main lenses I use. But yeah, the Anon M4s are pretty cool. If you have a smaller, like my face is kind of bigger, so the M4s are big and fit my face well. But they also have the M3s for like smaller faces too. JG Ball says, how often do you wax your boards? Quite often. Like a few years ago, I didn't wax that often, maybe every 5 or 10 times. And then earlier than that, maybe I'd only wax my snowboard a couple times a season. But now I like try to wax at least every 3 or 4 times I ride. Mainly just because I really notice a difference when like my board is freshly waxed. It just runs faster. In powder, it glides like so much better. You don't get that like sticky feeling under your feet. So yeah, waxing to me like every 3 or 4 times, it just really helps to like maximize the performance of the board and makes the day of snowboarding funner too. Antima says, yo, any plans on visiting Torrillo? Where is Torrillo? Where is that? Is that in like, where is that? Is that in Chile, or is that in Argentina? Where is Torrillo? Loda wants to know, do you snowmobile? I don't snowmobile. I've been snowmobiling like once or twice when I was a kid, but I've never been snowmobiling for snowboarding. So we'd like to try it out sometimes. It looks tough. It looks hard to snowmobile in powder. So maybe at some point I'll get into it, but not yet. Oh, Artemis Prime saying Torrillo is in AK, Alaska. Awesome. Oh, it's where they do natural selection. Oh, wow. It's a range in AK. I haven't been there, but we'll be stoked to go there. The heli trip I did was with the Chugach powder guides. So yeah, we did it there. But yeah, would be stoked to check it out sometime. Bad Riders, let's go, Kev, featured on the NST. What is the NST? Matthew, is Whistler still your home mountain? I guess it kind of is, but this season, like because last year I was, because of COVID and everything, like I didn't leave Whistler. Like I just did the entire season in Whistler, and just kind of had that feeling of like needing to get out, travel, check out some different places, see people that watch the videos. So this season has just been all about like just getting out to different places, different resorts. So I actually moved to Vancouver like last April. And so Vancouver is it's basically 2 hours from Whistler. But the cool thing with living in Vancouver is that it's easy to get to the airport, to take a short flight somewhere. But what I've been doing mostly is just doing drives. So driving down to Washington. So in Washington, I've been riding at Mount Baker, at Crystal Mountain, was down in Oregon, rode at Mount Bachelor for a few days, down in California, riding at Tahoe, riding at Mammoth, even went snowboarding in Bear Mountain early in the season. Over in Idaho, riding at Bogus Basin, of course, and then also up at Mount Schweitzer. So trying to hit lots of different places, a lot of places on the Icon Pass, but some like private resorts as well. And honestly, I think the private resorts have been my favorite. So next year, I may not even get an Epic or an Icon and just go like total private resort. Just because I feel like the private resorts, they're just as good, but the snow quality can be just as good, or if not better. And there's not going to be any lines. So I'm thinking a lot less lines. Typically at the private resorts, there's like no lines, to be honest. But yeah, we even hit up, I got the Icon Pass this year and also hit up Revelstoke. So yeah, a bunch of Icon resorts, a bunch of independent resorts, and also up to Alaska too, to Alyeska. And doing it that way, it's been super fun just for, Whistler's amazing. I love Whistler. It's given me a lot of perspective too on riding at Whistler. I feel like, I think I was taking it for granted a little bit. Like it's basically when I moved out from my parents' house and moved out west, Whistler was the first place I went. It was where I've learned a ton about snowboarding was in Whistler. And it's one of, I think because that was the first place I went, I was, kind of had my blinders on to the rest of the resorts. And now that I've had a good chance to ride at lots of different places, it's definitely made me appreciate Whistler more. I do think Whistler is probably the biggest mountains, the most terrain, the most variety of terrain, and some of the best parks. So Whistler definitely has it going on. But yeah, this season it's been super, super refreshing to get out too and explore and check out different places and meet different people. Like I met a ton of you guys out there this year too. One of the highlights for sure was just getting down to Idaho, riding with El Stacker, just doing trips like that. That's something where if I had just stayed in Whistler, living in Whistler, I would have missed out on all those fun times. So it's been good to get out a bit. Batted Rider says, look out, L's bringing the lines to Bogus. He is, man. Yeah. It's awesome. El Stacker saying too, hey, everyone smash the like button. Awesome. Thanks, El Stacker. Yeah, 73 people watching, 38 likes. I think we can get to let's get that to even if we can. Parker asking, how do you like Baker? Yeah, Baker is awesome. So there's a few things I love about Mount Baker. One is it's got this really cool community feel to it. So it feels like the people that work there, the local riders, it's small enough that it just feels like a cool community. So it just feels like everyone kind of knows each other. Everyone's very laid back and just enjoying the mountain. So the community feel there is amazing. Baker also gets some of the a lot of snow throughout the season too. So the amount of snow they get is a ton, even though sometimes it can be on the heavier side for sure. Being in the Pacific Northwest, it's definitely reputation for having heavy snow, but the amount of snow they get is a ton, which is awesome. They also, they barely have any lift lines, so you can just get onto the chair, go up. And I think the standout though is the terrain. The terrain there is amazing. It's a mix of of steep and rolling terrain with natural half pipes. So it's got some of the best terrain I think I've ever ridden. So terrain wise, it's up there, top 3 in terms of the pitch of the mountain, the type of the terrain, the trees. So the terrain is amazing. And then to top it off, the backcountry access is is really amazing. So at the top of chair 8, there's a gate there where you can go out to the backcountry. And like definitely if you guys are ever considering going out into the backcountry, make sure you've done an avalanche course, that you've practiced, you've got some experience. You're going out with like friends that know what they're doing, and you have all the right gear. But yeah, the backcountry access at Baker is like really amazing, and the backcountry terrain is incredible. Like some of my best runs ever have been at Mount Baker just the last few weeks. So it's yeah, super special place. Yeah, love going there. And just like the whole, even like there's not really anything around Mount Baker too. I think it's an hour from Bellingham, which isn't like a resort town or anything. It's just a normal place, Bellingham. And then there's a few places to stay in between Bellingham and the mountain, but they're like kind of sparse and not too many. But yeah, amazing place, and definitely gonna go back a few more times. Artemis says, when will you be in Banff? So I'll be in Banff from the March 9th till about the 15th, I think, 9th to 15th. And may actually extend a couple more days. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to spend the whole time in Banff or if we're also going to go to another resort as well. So while we're over there, we might check out like Fernie or Kicking Horse or one of those resorts, but we'll see how the conditions go and the weather. Bad Riders, I like this question. Which stop has had the best food on your world tour, Kev? Awesome. That's a really good one. Best food. Oh man. Okay, so this, let me just think. Europe. Okay, Europe definitely doesn't have the best food. Not because Europe has bad food, but the places have been more remote. So it's like there's not as many options around. Revelstoke. Oh, Revelstoke had some really good food, actually. There's this sushi place called Frisbee Ridge. I think it's called Frisbee Ridge Sushi, and they had like the best like veggie sushi around. It was amazing. Man, that could be just that place alone may put Revelstoke as number one, but let me think. Big Bear's got good food. Oh man, Truckee had some pretty good food, like around Tahoe is pretty decent. Baker, so Mount Baker, there's not really any food near the mountain, but Bellingham is apparently the drive-through capital of the world. So if you want fast food, Bellingham is the place to go. Oh man, I hope I'm not missing anything. Oh, Schweitzer or Boise. I don't know. It's either Schweitzer or Boise. Man, I wish I could remember. I think Schweitzer could be the best one of them all. Yeah, Mount Schweitzer. So there's a small town there called Sandpoint, and the town of Sandpoint had some really cool restaurants. So I'll say Sandpoint, Idaho had the best food. It was really good. Man, Mammoth is pretty good too. Mammoth might be second, but Sandpoint, I'm gonna say Sandpoint, Idaho. They had this like amazing Thai place. Yeah, actually Sandpoint, Idaho. There was two things that stood out. There was a Mexican place that was amazing, and there was also this amazing Thai place. So, yeah. Do you follow competitions boarding like the Olympics? Not too closely, but I did like check out the runs from the Olympics. It was really fun watching some of the highlights from the Olympics, like the slope style, a big air. I watched. I think those two are the ones I watched the most: big air and slope style. So that was fun to watch. I didn't catch it all because like I was in the midst of traveling around and going to different places. So a lot of the places that we went to like didn't have cable. But yeah, it's good. It's cool to check it out. I saw that. What's that dude's name? Oh, I forget his name. But yeah, there's just like it's the riding is insane. The tricks are insane. It's really fun to see like how much snowboarding's progressing. So yeah, it was really fun to watch. But yeah, I just caught some highlights. I don't think I saw anything live. Chuck Van, which Nidecker snowboard have you been most stoked on and why? Yeah, Chuck, man, good question. So definitely, man, these two boards here, two totally different boards, but super stoked on them. So this is the Nidecker Beta APX. I love it. Yeah, I totally love this board. So there's a couple things. So it's like a stiffer powder board, which I love. I think, you know, a stiffer powder board to me is the way you want to go. Because as I'm riding it, the feeling is that if there's any like, you know, undulations, anything going on in the snow, the board like doesn't bend to the bumps. It just like plows through them, which I love. So as you're riding with speed, I want the board to feel like it's kind of like in control and blasting through any like weird shapes in the snow, anything underneath. Landing drops, I want the board to feel like it's just like stable. And the Beta APX is 100% that. Those type of powder snowboard I don't really like is when you're riding it and you feel the board kind of just like mushing under your feet. That's like too soft for me, and I feel like that's when I feel like I'm out of control and I'm gonna like fall. So the stiffness of the Beta APX also gives it like tons of stability, where you can like charge and you can kind of get off balance, but the stiffness of the board saves you. The other thing I like about this board is just like the basic swallowtail with the wide nose. It just feels like it floats like so effortlessly in the powder. You don't have to like think about like getting onto your back foot. It's just like doing all that work for you. So the ease of ride through powder is amazing. And then also the side cut radius on the board. Can I do this? Side cut radius is like it's deep enough or like tight enough so that you can make some like good tight pow turns. Sometimes if like the side cut radius is too straight, you end up just like riding like a straight sort of pencil. But with the side cut on this board, it just feels like it swerves between turns so like effortlessly. And this is the 162. I'm like 195 pounds. I think next year they're gonna make a bigger one, the 165. So I may even go bigger next year. And then the Nidecker Sensor Plus is an awesome park board too. It's also a stiffer park board. But the way that it feels is like for popping off of jumps, for landing jumps, it just feels very stable. For me, I think I even notice it in my park riding. Like I can see that everything is a bit more clean because of the stiffness of the board. And it's like more camber dominant. So the camber like really extends all the way to the ends of the nose and tail, just giving it lots of like pop for ollies and also lots of stability with that full camber. So love that. And then the side kick at the contact points just help it to be like less catchy. So yeah, love both those boards for park and powder. You know, I think you really do want to have like a powder board and a park board, like one of each, or if you're just into like whatever type of board you're riding, like really specific boards to that style of riding, it's just going to help you like I think enjoy the riding more. Oh, Adam's saying those bindings on the Beta look fire. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Yeah, really cool designs on the boards and the bindings. Georgie says, you ever thought about parachuting off a mountain and landing on your snowboard? I've never thought about that, but I know that people do that, so that's pretty cool. Sweet, we got 60 people in the chat, 54 likes. We're almost at 50-50. Artemis saying, now I have to get the Nidecker. Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, they make like super quality boards. Like I've been having a blast on them. And I think it comes through too in the videos. Like I think you guys can see the boards are performing like super well. BD pilot Kevin saying, dream spot that you have not hit yet. Man, dream spot. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've been super fortunate to have been able to ride lots of different places. There's definitely like there's a few places in Europe I'm still really looking forward to riding. So there's not one place in particular, but I definitely need to spend a bit more time in Europe in like the winter. I know like the Alps are like they're so big and there's so much like terrain, incredible like powder zones, and even like terrain parks. So would really like to spend some more time over in Europe. Isaac saying, "Come ride Steamboat Resort." Isaac, definitely, man. Yeah, hope you guys are getting some good snow over there. Oh, Midnight says Orca versus Beta APX. Main difference. The main difference is probably, yeah, what's the main difference? Is probably yeah, like the stiffness, honestly. So the Beta APX is a bit stiffer, and it's more camber dominant. So it's like camber up until like just in front of your front binding, then it rockers out. So like surfy camber. So like the feeling on this board is like as you're riding through, it definitely feels like it's plowing through things a bit more and just kind of like keeping you more, I would say more stable, just because it's like the stiffness and the camber is really just keeping you in control. Compared to the Orca, so Orca has the C2X, so the rocker in the middle, camber under your feet, and then rocker again. It feels a little bit more, and it's a bit softer as well, the Orca. So you do just feel kind of like it's I guess like a bit more surfy through the snow with a little bit less stability front and back. So I think that's the main difference. I do love the Orca too. I think it still gives you some good stability for sure. It's not bad for stability, but I think this one just is like that next level up. Robert Fowler, did somebody say Surfer's Paradise? No, but Robert, you're from Surfer's Paradise. That's pretty cool. Christopher says, Western Washington University at Baker. I watch your videos religiously at the beginning of the pandemic. Bought a season's pass, went 50 days at Crystal, progressed a ton, and been traveling around boarding. Awesome, Christopher. That's amazing, man. Stoked that you got up the mountain that many times, man. That's amazing. Yeah, sick. Thanks for checking out the videos, man. Bradley, where can I watch skiing? I don't know, man. What's a good ski channel? Go check out, there's a ski dude that's I met once, and his channel is Stomp It Tutorials. So go watch Stomp It Tutorials. He does really good videos. Jackie says, I bought my first board this week. Ride Algorithm. Awesome, Jackie. Sweet. Have fun riding it. Christopher, at 34, I was terrified of starting over and getting hurt, but gained a world of confidence and a new passion. Awesome, man. That's amazing. Yeah, you're never too old. Like 34, it's young. You're still young, man. You're super young. So yeah, don't hold yourself back because of your age. Just go for it. So this year I turned 40 this year, and I managed to land my first front flip. So that I was like, man, who would have thought it would have taken me till 40? But yeah, you're never too old. You can always keep learning tricks, keep progressing, improving your riding, and don't take a ton of risk where you're going to seriously injure yourself. But you can still take a bit of risk and push your riding and have fun doing it. So that's awesome, man. Yeah, 34, you're super young. Extra Crispy says, good to see you hit up Alaska and showcase the goods at Alyeska. It's my home mountain and really has potential to be insane if they add a couple more lifts to the top of the head wall. Definitely, man. Yeah, that was one thing I was thinking, is that they could use a couple more lifts because there's like so much like terrain around. So, of what we got to do, that was awesome. But at the same time, I was like looking at all these like potential and possibilities. Extra crispy, can you tell me, like, does more of the mountain open as the conditions get like more snow, or maybe like less avalanche risk? Like, how does that work? And also, is there some like, do they open it up for hiking? That'd be good to know too. Like, can you just like, do they open it up to where you can just start hiking into the backcountry? Because I understand, like, when we were up there, it did seem like the avalanche risk would have been high if you started venturing off on your own. But yeah, what's it like when it's like fully open? Does it open even more? Liam, any tips on learning to ride switch? Liam, definitely, man. Just like with switch, it's like you already know how to do the heels and the toes. The only new thing you're adding is, that new front foot going down the hill. And, just take your riding, or like what you can do is like any place there's an easy area of the run, someplace that, you would just ride through going your normal way without even thinking about it. Any spot there's an easy part, just like slow yourself down and do some switch turns. Because if you can do that every single time, then you're going to start noticing that that easy area becomes easy to ride switch. And then just keep progressing with it. Like, start trying it on like steeper blue runs, and just keep progressing until, you're eventually doing half of your run switch in all different terrains. So yeah, just keep trying to push it, man. Artemis says, I started riding at 49. Awesome, Artemis. That's amazing. Yeah, I have a friend up in Whistler too, and like for his 50th birthday, he did a backflip just on the grass. And like seeing him do that, I was like, man, there's tons of time left still. So hopefully get to ride at least like hard with like progressing for the next 15 years. For like, if I can keep doing that, I'd be stoked. Bad riders, I'm 36 and feel like I'm 40 at times. Yeah, man, for sure. Dude, what are you going to feel like when you're 40? When you're 40, you're going to feel like you're like 50. Just, you're good, Adam. You're good, man. If I'm coming out to visit this summer or your winter, just be ready for it. Be ready. There's going to be some long days. Brandon, are you hitting up Sunshine when you're in Banff? I ride Sunshine every weekend. Let me know. Would be stoked to meet. Awesome. Yeah, I think I am going to hit up Sunshine. I don't know which day exactly, but yeah, I'll post some stuff on Instagram. All right, let's do a few more questions, and then I got to go. I can hear my dog is I think I have to take my dog out for a walk. He's barking. All right. James says, thinking of working a season overseas, is the language barrier in Austria difficult? Should I do a season in Canada instead? To be honest, like in Austria, I feel like most people, at least most young people, or like all young people, also speak English. So most people speak both. They'll speak like a version of German and English. So, oh, there he is. Hey, Jake. Hey, buddy. Oh, okay. Hey, Jakey. Come here. You want to say hi? Come here. Jake, come here. Oh, he doesn't want to say hi. Jake, come here. If he comes over, I'll show you guys my dog, Jake.
Thanks for playing.
Mackenzie, what is your favorite resort in Japan? I think my favorite one is probably Niseko. And then the area is, my favorite area is called Hanazono. I think that's my favorite. There's like a gate to walk out at the top of Hanazono that's pretty incredible. True Creative says, hey Kev, love your videos. What boots are you wearing this season? So the boots I have are the Nidecker, I think they're the Nidecker Tracer boots. They're awesome. They're double boas. They're like super comfortable. I've been riding them for the last like four months now, and they've been great. They're like a mid flex. I did have to get used to riding with boas. The trick I found is that like I'll do the boas like up pretty tight, especially like the top boa, the front top boa. Like I crank that pretty tight, and then after like my first run, I'll like go back and I'll like tighten it some more, just that like top portion of the boot. I find with the boas, what happens is because you're tightening it all from the top, it doesn't like over time, it starts to like, however much you tighten it, it starts to like kind of dissipate across, and then you get like a bit of a loose area. So I've kind of like learned to like crank those really tight. But yeah, they've been great. I think they're, yeah, the Nidecker Tracer boots, they've like held up really well, mid flex, comfortable. The best gear I feel like is the gear like you don't even think about it as you ride, like especially for like boots and bindings, you just want it to like perform well, do its job, and just so that you can like enjoy snowboarding. I'll put links to all my gear in the description after the live chat. Derek says, saw you at Baker recently. Wish I had the chance to say hi. Thanks for the videos. They help a lot. Yeah, sick. Derek, sorry I missed you, man. Yeah, next time I'm at Baker, hopefully we can run into each other. Artemis Prime says, how would you compare them to Adidas you wore last year? They're pretty similar. I feel like maybe the Adidas are a bit stiffer. The Adidas, which ones were those? They were the Lexicon. Yeah, they're more like the Sambas. They're kind of like comparable, I would say, to the Adidas Sambas in stiffness and feel and everything. But yeah, the Sambas are traditional laces. The Tracers are boas. So that's like a big difference too, having boas. I feel like next year, I'm not sure if I'll stick with boas or maybe go back to the traditional laces. I'll see how it goes. But yeah, the Nidecker Tracers have been, performance-wise and comfort-wise, they've been totally on point. Mackenzie says, what's the deepest POW you've ever been in? Man, honestly, it was recently at Mount Baker. Definitely some of the deepest snow I've ever been in. I think it said it snowed like only like say 8 inches, but we went into the backcountry zone and like it was just like bottomless snow. So between Mount Baker or Japan, those two places have some of the deepest snow ever. Actually, also the heli trip we did in Alaska, that snow was like bottomless deep as well. And yeah, that was pretty wild. At the end of the day in Alaska on a heli trip, so the guide has, our guide had a probe, and he got his probe out, and a probe is 3 meters long, and he put the probe down into the snow, and it went all the way down the full 3 meters into the snow, and he still couldn't touch the bottom, so there was like tons of snow up there. Sweet guys, I'm just going to end it there. I'm going to take my dog Jake out for a walk, but thank you guys for hopping on. Sorry I haven't been like more consistent with the live chats this year. Like I feel like the schedule sometimes gets to me, but I want to be like a bit more flexible. I'm going to try to do them every Sunday. Would love to do them at the same time, but we'll, if I can't do it at like 3 o'clock on a Sunday, I'll just do it a bit later, but make it work. But yeah, it was really awesome chatting with all you guys. I hope you guys are all having a sick time out there snowboarding. And yeah, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. But yeah, have fun out there snowboarding, guys, and I'll talk to you guys on here again soon. Awesome. Later.